Hello everyone, today I'm going to introduce what tax multiplier basically is. Okay, before that we have to know the definition of a multiplier. An easy definition of multiplier is to calculate how much does the government policy will affect the aggregate demand in a macroeconomics objective. So in a physical policy, tax is one of the factors that government can use to affect the AD. So tax multiplier is basically calculate the effectiveness of tax to AD. Okay, to explain this, To explain this, the better way to explain this is basically use the expansionary fiscal policy to explain this, because most of the people can't imagine that easily. So expansionary fiscal policy is when a nation has recessionary gap, which means that their AD is pretty low and they have unemployment. To reduce unemployment, which is one of the macroeconomics objective, government will use expansionary fiscal policy, which is decrease the tax rate and then which indirectly affect the demand by hiring the consumption, because households will likely going to spend more because they have more disposable income.
Okay, now this is the diagram of the recessionary gap, and as you see, the expansionary fiscal policy affects shift 81 to 82, and the reason why the result is because the government decreased tax. So the government decreased tax, the people can spend their money more on the goods and services, so the recessionary gap is decreasing.
Okay, to basically calculate how effective that the tax are going to affect on AD, we have to use the following formula. This minus MPC over MPS. What MPC is marginal propensity of consumption over marginal propensity of saving. So basically what it means is how many, for example, a single individual household, they have, let's say, $100 of their incomes. If their MPC is 0.6, which means they'll have $60 to spend, and the rest of them will be MPS, which is 0.4 times 100, which is 40. So they'll have 60 to spend and 40 to save. So why this is important? Because saving is as known as leakage in the economy. So we want to see how the fiscal policy will affect on basically how consumer distribute their incomes. So why there's a minus sign is because that there will be an inversely relationship between taxes and spending. So lower taxes will will have potentially higher spending, and higher tax rate will potentially have lower spending. You probably don't understand by just talking this formula, so we'll have example after this.
So now we're going to use the example to explain this formula to you guys. So we set a target change in the GDP as 40 billion, and then set MPS 0.25, the MPC 0.75. And we use the formula, the minus MPC over the MPS, so which is the minus 0.75 divided by 0.25, it is minus 3. And because there is the tax and these two types of things have the inverse relationship, the minus tax times the minus 3 is equals to the target change in the GDP, which is the $40 billion. So the minus tax is the $40 billion divided by minus 3, so which is the tax is $13.3 billion. Thank you for watching the video. Let's go.